Hey guys, I'm here again with another review. Now this one's gonna be the second half to the video that I mentioned. This one's gonna be full of spoilers. So this is my Apocalypse War spoiler review. Now I feel like some people weren't asked, and I feel like I shouldn't make this, but I had to. So I'm gonna be talking about the movie, everything about it, and like kind of like my 2 cents on people's issues with the film. I know there's a lot of people had issues, but like some, I felt like a little petty. You are entitled to your opinion, but you know. Anyways, so Apocalypse War. The movie is basically the finale to the DC AMU. If any of you guys didn't know that, and it basically goes. Superman wants to go to war with Darkseid and stop him from trying to take over the Earth. He takes the rest of the DC heroes on a quest to do that, but unfortunately for them, Darkseid finds out about their plan through Cyborg. And once they get to Apokolips, they lose, like really badly. He creates these new hybrids known as Paradooms, which are a cross species of Doomsday and Parademons. They just slaughter most of the heroes, and the rest just get enslaved by Darkseid. And he depowers Superman by using liquid kryptonite. This liquid kryptonite, he basically does it, in my sense, he does it as like to make him not a martyr, but like a marker for his failure. I got this from this one guy. It's kind of like he basically marked him so he'd show the world that there is no hope anymore. That's my idea. But this other guy mentioned that he did it so he could live with a failure, that he could live with the fact that he failed the mission. Superman failed to stop Darkseid, and now he gets to live with that symbol on his chest for the rest of his life. In regards. So then, after that, he sends his Paradooms to Earth, and they attack, and they kill the Titans, most of them, and, you know, Darkseid rules over. Now, Earth is a wasteland, and, you know, but Superman has a plan. He alongside Raven, Constantine, Etrigan the Demon, and Damian Wayne go on a quest to go back to Apokolips and blow it up so they could save the Earth, or what's left of it. Along the way, they lose more heroes. And villains in that regard. And because of it, it just kind of makes what happens at the end essential, but it's. So they make it to Apokolips. So then they make it to Apokolips, and like they fight Batman, and Damian almost dies. But upon seeing him vulnerable, he snaps out of his mind control and attacks Darkseid. Then fires the Omega Beams and kills Damian, which causes Raven to release Trigon, and that he possesses Superman to do battle with Darkseid. After that, Batman shows Clark the video of Lois in the LexCorp Tower, and she says her goodbyes, and then the building explodes, killing everyone and causing him to like snap out of it and banish Trigon in a sense, and then he does battle with Darkseid. After that, Constantine comes back to life, Raven revives Damian, and then Cyborg comes with a plan to send Apokolips to no destination. And to do that, they need to distract Darkseid. So Constantine and Raven release Trigon to do battle with Darkseid, and then Cyborg opens a portal back to Earth and opens a boom tube large enough, sucking both Trigon, Darkseid, and Apokolips into a black hole with him alongside it. After that, they make their way back to Earth to the remains of Titan's Tower, where they learn that Earth's core is compromised. So Constantine tells Flash that to go back in time, he has to go back and create another flashpoint in order to save the Earth. And then there's a blinding light, and that's basically the end. I realize I may have skipped over some stuff, but I skipped over some stuff, but it doesn't. But like, I think you will get the gist of it when you watch the movie. Now it's on to the second portion. I'm just gonna air out some stuff that people have an issue with the movies. So basically, the main problem people have with the movies is like the build up to the fact that Darkseid was the main big bad And to that, I say, uh, maybe. The fact is, people believe that Darkseid wasn't built up like how in the MCU it was built up that Thanos was going to be the bad guy, and his actions were compelling. Because in Infinity War and Endgame, his actions were he wanted to wipe out half of all life, and they changed it in the comics where, in the comics, he wanted to wipe out half of all life to please Lady Death. But in the movies, the live action, he had a more compelling reason. He wanted to preserve the other half of the universe by wiping out 50% of the population. And he did that. But the emotional weight of Endgame is kind of lifted. I mean, no doubt, Endgame is amazing. But like the emotional impact is when Black Widow dies and Tony dies. And yeah, it was pretty sad when they died. But like with Apokolips War, I think it's better than Endgame. I really do. Mainly because the stakes are higher than ever before. And I realize that now because looking back on both movies, you could see that the stakes are higher in Apokolips War than they are in Endgame. Because an Endgame has the small moments, and it takes away the emotional impact of Infinity War. But in Apokolips War, like the impact is still there. Like people are dying left and right, and the stakes just get higher and higher as each scene goes on. Like there's this growing sense of intensity with each passing moment. Like we have to save the Earth. We have to keep doing this. We have to keep going no matter what happens, or else we die. That's what makes Apokolips War better than Endgame. But like, another problem that people have is the fact that underused characters, which I somewhat agree with. I somewhat agree that some of the characters kind of got like pushed off to the side, and they didn't kind of like get the character growth. They didn't get the character growth they needed. Most characters got that, like Damian Wayne and Constantine. Damian Wayne, I feel like that was it. His arc was in the movies. He went from entitled brat to acknowledging Batman as his father, acknowledging Nightwing as his brother. He became what Batman wanted him to be. He became the hero. He became the person that Raven saw him for, a kind and generous soul. He became that person. He even told his father to remember the lessons he taught him. Justice, not vengeance. And because it allowed him to see it, and because of his time with the Titans and his time with Batman, he started to see his way. He started to see his growth. You see his growth through the majority of the movies. He's become a better person because of the good influences on his life. And with Raven, he could see someone as he wants to spend the rest of his life with. That was the best part about the movie, is Damian and Raven, because they were ultimately the heart of the film, and they were the only ones who got anything out of the bad situation. They were the only ones who gained something from all the death and chaos. Each other, because Raven was finally free of Trigon, and they were free to be together. But now the Flash has to go back and change that, so they might not see each other again. But either way, some characters got growth. I mainly feel like it was Damian, but like, I agree that some characters weren't really fleshed out as much as they should have, and the characters that they did introduce got brushed off to the side, and then just dead. Just like non-stop. But like in a universe like this, you know, kind of, I want to say you could think of it like Attack on Titan, in a sense. Think of it like Attack on Titan. Some characters didn't get fleshed out enough, but like you knew who they were. You knew what kind of person they were based on how they acted. So kind of think of it like that, and take the whole thing with them killing off some underused characters. Take that with like a grain of salt, because like you know, they were trying to focus mainly on like the main characters, like the main people who were gonna be enforcing the story going forward, like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. They gave growth to those characters and they succeeded in their own rights. Right? Like Batman had to learn how to be there for his son and how to teach him from right and wrong, along with Nightwing. And Damian had to learn how to be be a better person due to Batman. Because of Batman, he was a better person. So all in all, I guess I can agree with you guys on certain things. But what I cannot agree with is some people's complaints. What I cannot agree with is some people's complaints on like Cyborg's death. Because like it's stupid to want to just to hate on his death because he doesn't say his catchphrase from the 2003 Teen Titans series. And I cannot. And you are entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion, but I feel like it's not fair. It's not fair to the people who enjoy the movie. It's not fair to the people who worked on this movie for you to hate on it because of one small thing. And like I said, you're entitled to your opinion, but just why? That's what I want to know. Why? I'm getting off topic. I also feel, but yeah, I feel like some people know Nightwing's death was kind of like they used it as a shock factor. Like Damian used Lazarus Pit and he came back insane. Like I understand that fact, but just look, I know some of you guys have a problem with the movies, but I want you to look at this movie and see the good from it. Look at this movie and think about all the good they got from the movie. They got stakes. They have a big bad who is basically as powerful, who's basically a god, who went toe-to-toe with Trigon. Matter of fact, let me talk about that before I wrap things up. When me and my brother started binge watching these movies, when we started watching Justice League versus Teen Titans, we were wondering. We saw a death battle a while back with Thanos and Darkseid, and we automatically knew that Darkseid was gonna win. And then Josh was like, when we were watching Justice League versus Teen Titans, he was like, "What would have happened if Trigon were to go up against Darkseid? What would that be like?" And he got his wish, because and it seems evident that Trigon possibly could win, but you know, it's debatable. I don't exactly know. Let me know in the comments. But that's just a small thing I wanted to talk about. But yeah, anyways, watch this movie the way you want to see it, the way you see it. You guys can complain about. There are those who will complain about it, but all in all, I think it's the best DC animated movie I've ever seen in a while. This is what should have been Justice League. This is what should have been Justice League way before Joss Whedon took this in and took it in and just, you know, hopefully Zack Snyder will fix things. But either way, yeah, those are my ideas for the movie. But those are my things in the movie. In the last video I made, I just couldn't talk about the movie without spoiling anything. You cannot talk about this movie you literally cannot talk about this movie without trying to spoil anything about it. But yeah. See this movie for the masterpiece that it is. My opinion, masterpiece. Because I think it's good. Some people might disagree. Let me know if you like it in the comments. But other than that, goodbye.